Drink Cinema! Cheers.
Welcome to another episode of Two Drink Cinema. We are two brothers reviewing movies 2 drinks at a time. Hello, Brett.
Hello, Lee. How are you?
I'm good. I've just seen a movie that on my shelf that I haven't seen, and we have, and I didn't know, The Shape of Water. Oscar-winning film.
Moving on.
About sleeping with the fishes.
Uh-huh.
If you're a Simpsons fan.
No, he sleeps with
I
the
said he
fishes.
sleeps with the fishes.
Mm.
Yeah, we don't do accents on this show.
Just in our own spare time.
Yeah. We are doing a movie that is called Addams Family Values.
Mm-hmm.
The tagline is creepier, kookier, spookier.
Because they're creepy and they're kooky and they're all together spooky in the song.
Yes, they're creepy and they're kooky.
And that depends on the song, if it's like the Addams Family song or Addams Family Womp.
Yeah.
Well, and wasn't there a shit song at the end of the first one too?
It is in my notes.
Yeah.
That they finish, because we have done the original Addams Family movie.
Yeah.
This is the first sequel other than the Kill Bills and the Back to the
Speed 2.
Futures. But we didn't do Speed.
Only on the weekends.
Yeah. So this is the first 1-2 I think we've done.
Yeah, somebody will probably correct us.
Have we done The Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
Because we've done
No, we
Return
haven't.
to Oz.
Oh, but that doesn't count because they are two very different movies.
No, but they're technically a sequel.
Yeah.
The books are sequels. All right. If you haven't noticed in the middle of your screen on YouTube, this is a drink. Rarely do we get a movie where there is a drink in the movie.
Yeah, he kind of makes it.
And I did not expect that to be the 1993 spooky family film, Addams Family Values, but it is because Gomez makes we assume is making a cocktail.
He's making some sort of
Because he pours
hangover cure for the baby.
egg. Well, we don't know it's for the baby at first.
Oh, no, we
it's
don't.
just like egg,
Yeah. Vodka,
and bitters.
Yeah.
Mixed into a baby's bottle and then given it to Pubert.
Yeah.
So we have decided to make a vodka sour.
Yep.
Brett, explain.
Vodka, lemon juice, lime juice, bitters, simple syrup, egg white.
Shaken.
Shaken and not stirred. Not stirred. Shaken.
So
I don't know about the look of it.
whiskey sour is a very popular drink. Vodka sour, not so much.
Somebody was talking at work not long ago and they're like, oh, you know what drink I love? And they go, an Amaretto sour. And I just went, oh, and then walked away.
Let's try this.
Cheers. Oh, God.
I'm not looking forward to it. It's certainly sour.
I mean, it's got bitters in it and lemon juice.
Yeah. And that's the only flavour.
It's actually not that bad.
Top it
Yeah.
with lemonade and I'll drink it. Which I know is basic. Makes me basic. Because I didn't mention
you've been
this
watching
into
The
it.
Good Place. Yeah.
Finally finished it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, and how much did you cry? We'll save that for another time because
Yeah.
that'll be a long discussion.
All right. Let's
What about the writing
Yeah.
of Addams Family Values?
Let's look at the story of the Addams Family Values. So, the Addams Family was a movie. And then the Addams Family Values is a sequel.
Yes. And we
One-
don't talk about the third one.
Yeah, the Addams Family Daryl Hannah edition. It's almost it's a bit like Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas. It's kind of, we don't want to remember that it exists. Because
that's
it's
a good way of putting it.
Unnecessary. What am I going to say? There's a little moth, in the studio. But we'll let them do their thing. They're going to sit on the Alfred Hitchcock collection up there.
Ooh, creepy.
How
How did you think it compared? Maybe I'm jumping ahead here.
No, let's do this. I thought it was hilarious.
I laughed many a time.
Yes. It is very funny.
Uh-huh.
The story ticks boxes, right?
It does.
Not in a formulaic way, like we have talked about Red, White and Royal Blue,
Yeah.
but it does have the thing of normal life and something comes in to disrupt it. One, the baby.
Yeah.
Another thing comes in to disrupt it. Two, the nanny.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then a further disruption to the normality is that the kids get sent off to camp.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's what in the storytelling game we call progressive complications, which makes things worse and worse and worse.
Fancy.
Until we get to, well, and then the added complication of Fester moving away, and then the added complication of the nanny making Fester not talk to his family.
Yep.
The added complication of Christine Baranski and Peter McNichol, as hilarious as they are so far from Wednesday and Pugsley and Gomez and Morticia that it is hilarious.
I liked when they were like fed up and they were like, how about you shut up?
Yeah.
Like,
so that is another complication of just how different the camp is from normal life. So all of that leads to the point where the kids have to get away from camp and Fester has to make a decision after he's been blown up.
yeah.
With the help of Thing. So then that comes the climax and the turning point of the movie. And then at the end, everything is back to relative because it's the Addams Family normal.
Yeah.
So it definitely does follow that story arc
Uh-huh.
and that kind of 6 elements of story structure, which
Yes.
I'm studying a lot for my writing.
Okay, that's good.
In amongst that, but what it isn't
Is good. No.
No. What it isn't is 4 episodes of a show put together,
Okay.
which I've
Lee,
referred to previously.
let's just say Brady Bunch.
Brady Bunch, right?
So I feel like something else did that as well.
Like a Scooby-Doo almost. But no, I think Scooby-Doo
No,
is generally
Scooby-Doo
regarded
would've-
as good.
Yeah. I think it's a bit of, it's got it, you know, it's a bit of a cult thing now.
Yeah. What?
But it's good Scooby-Doo now because Linda Cardellini can be a lesbian.
Oh, yeah, that's canon or something. Speaking of...
Velma?
What? Velma, yeah.
She's Velma, yeah.
Velma's a lesbian, not Linda Cardellini.
Not Linda Cardellini. Not that I know.
Well, she could be. That's up to her. She hasn't
Yeah.
announced it, nor should she have to.
No. Anyway, continue.
I'm going to have a baby, in case you forgot from the end of the first movie.
Yeah.
Right now. The kind of setup and punchline within one line is something that this script does very well.
Yes.
And I think the script in that regard really leans into the flipped family.
Yep.
That the family has love and is the typical mum, dad, 2.5 kid family
Yeah.
completely flipped.
Yep.
So they do a lot of those kind of lines. Unfortunately, I didn't write a lot of them down, so I can't recap them. But hopefully you've recently watched the movie, listener, and you understand what I'm talking about.
I think, well, that's just... Part of me at one point was like... It was just kind of a couple of storyline lines put in around one-liners that Christina Ricci can say.
You know what, though? I'm okay with that for a comedy.
She's good at it.
For a family comedy, I'm okay with that.
What are you thinking about? I can't even fucking
Boys?
remember. Boys.
Homicide.
Homicide.
But
Homicide.
they all get... They all get those lines, right? Women must follow you everywhere. And then Fester says, store detectives. Like, they all get those kind of lines. And one of the ones that I really laughed at, because it's subtle, and it's one for the parents.
Uh-huh.
Cousin It's baby, right?
It's a hairball. Yeah.
Is nicknamed what? And the mum is like, what? A nickname from the obstetrician, which they think is a nickname, but it's actually an obstetrician going, what?
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff is funny. And I I really enjoyed it.
I think it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as good as the first one. From like, you know, when I remember watching the first one, I was like, this is really good. It holds up. This
Yeah.
one was just a bit too meh. You know, it's just like, we get it.
Speaking of holding up, can we talk about some things that may not have held up?
Do we talk about a certain camp they go to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shall we?
Do we? Yeah. Let's talk about it. It's not great, isn't it?
Camp Chippewa.
You know what, though?
Yes.
When she was like, you did this to them, my
That
people,
was a
blah, blah,
win.
blah. Very good. But then when you've got a Jewish kid behind it with paint on his face, not
Yeah.
great.
So,
Although I will say Pugsley dressed as a turkey, fucking stupid.
yeah.
Love it.
What I couldn't quite work out if having that in there was kind of saying this is ridiculous.
Like they
the
put
whole-
that type of camp in there to say these camps are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole camp is ridiculous,
Uh-huh.
right? And Peter McNichol and Christine Baranski play up that youth leader
Very well.
thing
Yeah.
to a ridiculous level. Is that ridiculousness making a comment on anything named after Indigenous American peoples being ridiculous?
I think it potentially could have, but I don't think it did its job. If that was its intention, I don't think it got that message across well enough.
I think it did go a little bit too far with the Wednesday playing Pocahontas and, the little Jewish boy playing a, quote, native.
Yeah.
And...
Although it is hilarious when they start burning shit on fire.
Oh,
And they
fire
nearly
is funny.
burn that girl on a stake.
I think they might have.
Hilarious.
I actually think they might have
like,
because we didn't see her again.
Get her. She's terrible.
We didn't see her again.
I want to be an actress. And then she starts drowning. I don't know how to swim. I think my favorite line of those was, oh, isn't he a lady killer? And he goes, acquitted.
Acquitted. Yeah. But before that, when Gomez and Morticia say to Wednesday and Pugsley, do you think that now there's another child, one child has to die? And Granny says, that's just not true. And then with regret, anymore. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, the kids had the baby. The story does go along, and the story does fit a very typical story structure.
Yeah.
In that normal life is disrupted, and there are things that people are trying to work out. What I would have preferred in the story is that we didn't see her watching the Most Disgusting Crimes in America show.
So they kind of buried the lead a bit.
So they unburied the lead.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah. I've mixed up my things.
They did what the Addams do and dug up the lead from its grave.
Yeah.
And put the Most Disgusting Crimes at the top. Because one thing that I really liked is that I didn't like Joan Cusack, but one thing I liked about her character was that she looked, quote, normal.
Yes.
Right? But then as you got to know her a little bit more, you actually see that there's something more there, and she has this weird connection with the Addams.
In terms of they both like murder and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we, by seeing the show, we're like, oh, okay, she's a murderer. She's there to murder Fester.
Yeah.
And she's not as normal looking. I would have preferred that to come out bit by bit as we go.
Uh-huh.
And we don't realise until
They're doing the trading card thing?
Pugsley and the kid are trading playing cards.
Yeah.
And they go, I've got this one, and it isn't even like, so what happens is Wednesday's like, I'm a bit sus on this woman, this is what she looks like. And then the kid goes, I think I've got her card.
Yeah.
And that confirms it. I would have preferred that to be them finding out. They're hiding behind the bleachers, trading serial killer cards, and Wednesday's
Bonding
like,
over that.
fuck, that's my
That's
nanny.
Joan Cusack. Yeah.
That's Joan Cusack. I'm going to burn her alive, which, please. But that's just my personal. Please, Joan, enough.
I think Joan does this character well.
She does.
She plays it very well.
I don't like Joan Cusack, but she's been in 2 movies in the last month and done a good job in both of them. I'm sorry.
And next week we're doing Toy Story 2.
She does even better.
Yeah. She's not a bad actress. She's just annoying. I agree. I agree with that. I thought that I didn't think much of it through the movie until they had that trading card thing. And I was like, oh, wouldn't you have used that as a kind of...
Well, yeah, I wrote, the most disgusting crime show is a bit of an obvious thing to get us into her issue and her
Do you reckon because they were writing it for family and it would have gone over kids' heads?
No, because it would have made it twist.
It still would have been the same movie, but slightly better. But in terms of like what kids were watching...
Kids are watching the Weird Addams Family.
So they're still watching Joan Cusack being weird and almost trying to kill Fester, and the kids are at camp. It's the same storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you just don't know the thing at the start.
You could have drip fed up until the honeymoon things that made you go, maybe Joan Cusack isn't in love with Fester.
Yeah.
And that maybe there's something amiss here. Then when she throws the thing in the bathtub, we're like, oh, okay, she wants for the money.
She could have wanted for the money because we could have seen that for some reason Fester was on the cover of Forbes magazine.
Yeah, because realistically, someone from the Addams family could have been watching the TV at the same time as Joan Cusack.
Yeah.
Unlikely because they're the Addams family.
Watch TV.
But like that could have been a thing that happened. So I would have preferred that to have been a later reveal.
I think that would have made the movie better.
Yeah. But other than that, and other than the Indigenous American issues, I really liked the movie.
I will say I'm glad that Wednesday and Pugsley went to camp because them trying to kill the baby got old pretty quick.
Yeah.
And what the fuck did they put on that baby's face?
Oh, the makeup?
Yeah. I don't know.
Wasn't very well done.
It was like, it looked like a porcelain doll at one point, which I think it might have been at one point. But then when it was still the baby, it looked like just geisha makeup.
Yeah, it was. It was obviously meant to make it look really pale.
Yeah,
but it was also a little bit patchy in some parts.
It wasn't great.
I hope that they paid the twin girls that played Hubert. I hope they paid them well enough for some skin treatments after.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to go. They're unrecognizable today.
Probably because that curly blonde hair is really their hair.
Yeah. The effects of Thing weren't great. There were some points that looked really bad.
Yeah, I don't remember them being as bad in the first one.
But I will say, I think it was hilarious when Wednesday smiled.
Yeah.
You know, she's at camp, she's like...
She forces that smile.
And people just scream.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Christine Baranski loves it.
But the ending, we have to get the baby to crawl out of the room and then fall onto a skate that then goes down the thing and knocks over a bowling ball that somehow keeps rolling forever and then goes downstairs and breaks a hole in the thing to then go thing and then pop up again so he lands at the electric thing and then connects it and then electrocutes her. I'm still not quite sure how that works.
Yeah, I don't know how that loops back on her.
But I was just like, this is a bit much.
Yeah. I do like that they included the baby in the saving.
Because, I think they had to.
Yeah.
But it was just like, what do you really need to... That was just all a bit too much. Probably. And I don't know if we needed her doing a slideshow.
I think that goes into her character of she wanted the recognition.
Yeah.
They've added a bit more depth to her character than they have to the rest of the movie, because they've given her motivation for being a serial killer, which they didn't really need to do, considering the lack of depth in the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
I do love in that scene, though, that the Addams family agree with her.
Yeah.
They're like, Malibu Barbie, that monster. And like, oh, but no time for you, when they're talking about the heart surgeon.
Yeah.
It's another, though, like at the end of the first movie, where they're going to die and Gomez and Morticia are just fine with it.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, well, this is it, my love.
Well, Raul Julia was...
That made the rip out my eyes scene very awkward, because his eyes did pop out. Remember we talked in Addams Family Values? Yeah. He had that whole thing, if Fester doesn't come back, I'll rip out my eyes and whatever to try and apologise to him or something. Odd.
But yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
I still don't think it was as good as the first one, but it is miles better than what I remember of Family Reunion.
That's what it's called. I couldn't even remember the name of it.
Addams Family Reunion, and they go on a reunion. And it's Daryl Hannah and Tim Curry?
John Candy? Tim Curry it is.
John Candy? He was dead by then.
I don't know. Jerry Messing. Estelle Harris.
I think the only one that comes back is Lurch or something, isn't it? And maybe Thing. I don't bloody know.
Carol Strukian. Ed Begley Jr. as Philip Adams. 1998. We don't want to do it for its 25th anniversary?
No, that's fine. That's all good.
Grandma and Grandpa are turning normal, which is a bit of a worry for the entire Addams family. So the family goes for an Addams reunion, hoping to find a cure and bringing them back. This was not written by an English first language person. So the family goes for an Addams reunion, hoping to find a cure and bringing them back. Anyway. It has a 2-star rating on Google.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do it. Look, I messaged you whilst watching the movie and then looking into it. This movie in and of itself does not have a lot of cultural impact.
Okay, so we've got a little bit of extra time. Can I just say some of my funny moments?
So I will say a few nomination thingies.
Really? Not Oscars.
One Oscar nomination for art direction.
Okay.
The sets and shit. So they're pretty good. Angelica Houston.
What? For him trying to be Tim Burton? Is that what we're going for?
Angelica Houston was nominated for a Golden Globe.
Okay.
He got a nomination for a BAFTA for makeup.
Yeah, right.
And also got a Razzie nomination for Worst Original Song.
Yeah. Which, after the original Addams Family rap from the credits of the first movie, got a Razzie nomination for Worst Original Song. Why would you get them to do it again?
Well, there was a singer that was supposed to feature in the film, and it was going to be Adam's Groove / Family Thing. And his name was Michael Jackson.
Oh.
And it didn't go on there, and people were rumoured that it was because of some allegations against him, but it wasn't. It was because he had contract issues with Paramount.
Yeah, right, okay.
And yeah, like, so maybe they just called up the Whoomp There It Is people. I can't even think of the people that do that song. Is that Run? No, that's
the Addams Family
there
rap.
It is. Whoop, there it is.
So Adam's Groove was by MC Hammer.
That was in the first one.
Yeah.
They took it when the Hoon and the Home and the Home, the Addams Family. That was that. Yeah.
Which
that was
is
the
bad.
first one. I don't know why I remember that.
So who sings the Addams Family Womp? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Tag team.
Jesus.
Yeah. Tag team. Addams Family brackets Womp.
Yeah, Whoomp, there they are. The Cookie and the Spooky.
Yeah, tag team. Whoomp, there it is. We don't do accents.
No, we don't.
It's Not a good, yeah. It's not a good credits song.
Yeah, no, it's not a good song, full stop.
Can I
Do we
ask-
say it launched, you know the kid that has a crush on
Oh, yeah.
Wednesday, he grew up to be the little elf kid in
Yeah, he's
Santa
good.
Claus.
I really
and
like
he
him.
was in that TV show Numbers.
Yeah, he was
He
too.
he was the number guy in Numbers.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm saying it's launched him.
Okay. Yeah, he's pretty good. David Krumholtz as Joel Glicker.
Allergies. What are you, allergic to air? Yes.
Yes. Oh, Christine Baranski's one of my favourites.
She does all right, doesn't she?
Mercedes McNabb
What is
plays Amanda Buckman
that?
on in the camp. She's the one that gets burnt alive.
Oh. Ooh.
She doesn't have a lot of good movies under her belt.
I looked her up as well because I thought she might have done something, but nope.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Can I request for a nomination
For
right?
worst sequel?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
For technical prowess, the man who ran Angelica Houston's follow spot.
Oh, how good is it?
Like,
I
it's
love that
just on
it is
always.
not subtle at all.
No.
Like in the first one, they did it, but I don't remember it being that obvious.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, it was like she was looking through a door with a little, where they put the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the way he followed her around, particularly the way
Whilst giving birth.
yeah, the way they lit the foyer of Festa's house so that it was light as compared to the Addams family house, but
Yeah.
also dark enough around the Addams family so that Morticia's eyes could be lit extra was incredibly well done.
Yeah.
So a tick for that.
Speaking of awards,
Yes. Our awards.
do we
I
get
haven't
on
even
to
said some funny lines that I liked from the movie. Isn't he a lady killer? Acquitted.
yeah.
One funny moment was when they had the little Hannibal Lecter mask on the baby.
Yeah.
That was funny.
When did they repaint
What do you mean?
the nursery?
Oh.
You know, they come
Is there
over
a
his like
continuity
blonde
error?
thing, and it was like his whole nursery was different. Like they
'Cause he had blonde
repainted the
hair.
walls because he had blonde hair. It was nice.
Oh.
So somehow, whatever was happening with him to make him blonde also changed his room.
Is the house alive?
Maybe it is.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I like Kumbaya
When are we watching?
because that is
Casper?
also a Kumbaya torture. Kumbaya is torture for anyone.
That's true.
2 years until we watch Casper. I just looked it up.
God damn it!
Um,
It's gonna be big beer that year.
why would you do a play about Thanksgiving in July?
Because they're at a Native American
they're
camp.
at a native camp,
and
yeah.
that's like
One error,
just one.
but it's Disney. And then they play The Sound of Music,
Yep.
The Brady Bunch,
Yep.
and Annie.
Yep.
Annie is torturous. I'll give them that.
The sun will come by tomorrow.
White meat and dark meat,
Oh.
let's celebrate together.
We're getting ahead of ourselves maybe a bit with that one.
Joan Cusack, for just a woman who lives in a house, has made a pretty big bomb. That blows up
Yeah,
the
that
whole
blows
house.
up the whole house. And also, wouldn't you park further away?
What's less believable? The fact that she builds a bomb that blows up a whole house, or that Thing speeds away while he's on the steering wheel.
I don't know how Thing drives a car.
One thing I do love, though, is that Lurch can carry the organ into any room or outside the house. Because it's
Poor Lurch.
up in the whatever room at the start, then it's down in the graveyard for the wedding,
Yep.
then it's back up into a different room for the party.
I feel sorry for Lurch. They mess up that house, something chronic, and then he's just like, yeah, I'll clean that, I guess.
But also, servants need something to do.
It's a big house. He's got plenty to do.
All right, let's give our awards. Okay.
Cool.
The Estelle Reiner Best Extra. I'll have what she's having.
Best extra? Look,
Well, I wrote the baby. Has no lines.
I wrote Pugsley. Because let's be honest, he's the worst of the family. He
had a birthday 2 weeks ago. I just saw on Facebook.
The guy who played Pugsley.
Yeah. Do you know how he got the part?
He was a fat kid in the 90s.
He rocked up in a striped T-shirt to the audition. No, he just tagged along because his sister was reading for Wednesday.
Oh.
And then they were like, oh, you read too, not for Wednesday. For Pugsley.
Somebody else got a gig that way, didn't they?
Yeah, someone that became
Kehi Kwan.
Yeah.
He only went along with his brother.
Yeah, and now one of them is Kehi Kwan.
And the other one's...
Still the same person, but not famous. I put the baby and Lurch.
I put the nurse, and I can't remember which one. I just wrote nurse. I wrote Cynthia Nixon was one of the nannies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mr. Pitt from Seinfeld is Joan Cusack's driver.
I wrote there was a drag queen.
Yeah.
That was like Tramp.
Yeah. Isn't
she was funny.
She's in Addams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was at the wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, because then Wednesday caught the bouquet.
Yes.
She's like Tramp.
That was a drag queen. Well done.
I then wrote Jamal.
I wrote Jamal too.
Great eye roll, Jamal. Fantastic.
I said, Jamal eye rolls beautifully.
Yeah. Great.
Okay, Jamal,
you
win.
Done. And then I'll turkey number 3. No.
I was looking really hard because there are a lot of weirdo Addams families.
Yeah.
Right? Another one I thought was possibly the doctor holding the baby that Thing slaps in the other birthday
David
suite.
Hyde Pierce.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But it's David Hyde Pierce.
Yeah.
So Jamal with the eye
because
roll.
it was just Jamal. Jamal. God.
And he's like,
Not great.
you racist bitch. That's what that eye roll said.
Yeah, he's like, ugh, white people. That's what the eye roll is.
He's like, I shouldn't be here for so many reasons.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they let him in. It's a camp for privileged young people.
I forgot the Jewish kid's name.
Joel Glick.
His parents were funny.
Yeah. Shit.
The
but
dad
funny.
was played by the director, Barry Sonnenfeld.
Oh, right. Yeah, good. All right, so that Jamal wins the Estelle Reiner Best Extra Award, the Andy Millman from Ricky Gervais's Extras Worst Extra Award. The woman playing the drums in the cave.
That was
is
a woman?
not even trying.
Oh, really?
When they have their cave double date,
Yeah.
who's looking after the baby? You've hired a
Lurch.
nanny. Oh,
Or grandmama.
yeah.
Well,
So why hire a nanny?
because it's a lot of work. And Lurch has the house to fix.
Yeah, true.
And grandmama's fucking nuts.
One of the lines that I like is, I pray that you had the opportunity to have children and pay someone to look after them.
Yes.
The woman, so there's a band, right, in the cave when they have the date.
Because they have to have a sexy dance.
Yeah. But when they first come, the woman is clearly can play the violin.
Uh-huh.
But the drummer is just like...
The chick from the Partridge Family.
Yeah. But the drums are
Susan?
doing stuff. So I nominated her because she's not even trying to mime in time.
I nominated the third nanny. I don't know why. And then I wrote
The
dementia.
one with the puppet?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wrote dementia.
Why?
Because
Bad.
I thought she was bad.
Okay.
I can't really... Funnily enough, I can't really remember.
It's an odd name.
Yeah.
Like even within the Addams family.
Yeah. Because it's just a word. Well, so's Festa, I guess.
When they have...
So's Wednesday.
Yeah. When they sing Kumbaya,
Yeah.
there is a girl over Dave McNichol's left
Peter
shoulder.
yeah.
Peter McNichol's left shoulder, who is stupidly over-enunciating. If it was words, it would be like, Kumbaya, my lord, Kumbaya. Like, that's what she would sound like. if she was actually making words, but someone, probably the director, has told her to mime.
Go
but
for your life, kids.
actually make the words.
Right.
So she just looks ridiculous.
If that's a thing, that's good.
What do you mean if that's a thing? You think I made it up?
Yeah, you did. You made it up. That's good. I like that one.
You want her?
Yeah.
All right. Rather
My
than
other one was Tony
dementia?
Shalhoub.
Yeah. What about
Only because
Nathan
he was
Lane?
like, oh, don't run away from me. Yeah.
What about Nathan Lane as a desk sergeant?
Fucking, it was okay. You can't listen to Nathan Lane talk because it's Pumbaa.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it just sounds like,
But then-
please save me.
Because-
Hey, that was not a bad Pumbaa.
But you also can't
Pumbaa.
look. You can't look at Nathan Lane.
Yeah.
Because it's Albert Goldman
And
from the Birdcage.
And I can't look at John Wayne Walk because it's Nathan Lane from the Birdcage. We're going off topic. When's the Birdcage?
We got to remember this cast though, because for 6
Yeah,
degrees,
yeah.
this has got some names in it.
Nathan Lane, David Hyde Pierce.
Nathan Lane, David Hyde Pierce, Mr. Pitt from Seinfeld.
Yeah, Christine Baranski's done a few movies.
Christine Baranski, so
Mamma Mia.
Peter McNichol,
Ally
Angelica
McBeal.
Houston.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Anyway, that's jumping ahead.
So overly kumbaya girl.
Overly enunciated Kumbaya Girl for the Andy Millman Worst Extra Award. The Halle Berry X-Men Worst Line Award.
I think you
One
might
that
have already said it.
aged badly,
Uh-huh.
right? As they say, the kids say, aged like milk.
Okay.
I hope you find someone very special, someone who won't press charges.
Yeah, okay.
Gomez says to Festa.
Yeah.
Not
I don't
great.
mind that because of what it's more of
It's more of the weirdness.
it's not a Chris Brown thing. It's like you're a crazy person that kills other people, maybe, or blows shit up.
Maybe okay. Acquitted.
I wrote,
Yep.
it's an Addams.
Yeah.
Is it a boy or a girl? It's an Addams. Well, we know it's a fucking Addams.
It's very modern, though.
And then I wrote,
they're not gendering their baby.
I
too
wrote,
early.
I wrote mum. Because they're like looking at Playboys.
Yeah.
And then they open like the centerfold thing and they go, oh, mum. I'm like, what?
Ooh, that came very... I was probably writing someone very special, someone who won't press charges, and so I missed the mum writing that down, but I agree.
We've touched on white and dark meat. Take it away.
Yeah, we have.
And then I wrote, except they're just like us, except we wear shoes and have last names.
Oh.
I was like,
yes.
Jesus Christ. 30 years ago, that was bad.
Well, I wrote, is the play the worst line? Like the whole play.
Whole play.
Is the whole play the worst
Everything
line?
that little bitch girl says.
Yeah, everything that white bitch says about Native Americans, First Nations people, Indigenous Americans, whatever is the correct term, is that whole thing.
I think, except we wear shoes and have last names, is fucking racist.
Yeah.
Well, white and dark meat, take it away.
Yeah, okay.
That's kind of that's racist.
Yeah.
But somehow related to turkey.
Yeah, true. And it is a bit of a thing. In America, white meat or dark meat is a bit of a thing when it comes to poultry.
Right.
Like, when you go to chicken places...
Oh, they go white or dark meat. Breast or thigh.
White meat costs more than... No, dark meat costs more than white meat. White meat has less flavour, people say.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. I also... Well, I wrote it's tough because a lot of the ones that we might say are like, oh, they're just typical boring lines.
Yeah.
Like Gomez saying the old ball and chain.
Yeah.
Get then flipped into a joke. No, well, Morticia says... You still love me, the old ball and chain. And we'd normally just go, oh, God, what a cliche.
Yeah, but then they flip it
But then
into he likes
goes,
balls
yes,
and
and
chains.
she's go, I'll get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it becomes a sex thing, which is funny. One other line. Joan Cusack says, I'll get you and your little hand too.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
Dumb.
She's not a wicked witch.
No, well, yeah. No, she's not a witch at all.
No.
She's just a bitch.
I
I think the shoes one.
Yeah, all right, the shoes one, which it wasn't in my notes.
It's It's really badly.
Just send that to me so we don't have to say
Okay.
it again.
Yeah.
I didn't cry.
Good.
Yeah, so sorry, there's no Ben Stiller from There's Something About Mary most cryingest moment.
Yeah.
The most iconic scene. Tough. The I'm Your Father
the
most
only
iconic scene.
one I could really think of was, you know, when they first go to camp
Yeah.
and they're dropping off, and then she's, you know, the
Of the four of them standing by the lake.
low rent Catherine O'Hara was there being like,
Yeah, yeah.
do you like boys? Homicide, that kind of thing.
She's funny, though.
Yeah.
She is poor man Catherine Howard.
She
She's
is,
funny.
100%.
Yeah.
Um,
is she?
That's all I could think of. And then I said the play. I don't know if I want to do that now.
No, we don't want to acknowledge the play.
Or do we do the end where she's going to electrocute them? No, that's not. I don't know if it has that much of an iconic scene compared to the first one.
Harriet Sampson Harris.
Yep. Okay, cool.
She is that mum.
Yeah.
She's in Frasier.
Yeah, she's Roz's sister. She's the Rosiest.
You're making that
I
up.
just made it up because you could see it though, can't you?
She's in Desperate Housewives.
Yeah, she's one of the neighbours.
Yeah, all right. She's in lots of stuff. She's in Ratched.
Yeah, she's one of the nurses. I'm literally just making this up, but you can believe it, can't you? She probably is a nurse. She's nurse number 4.
She's either that or she runs the motel. Like, that's it.
That's it.
In Ratched. Okay, so
I don't know.
most iconic scene, I think it needs to be them standing at the lake, because my other possibility was a shot of the house, but that's not iconic for this movie.
No.
Like, that's iconic for the Addams Family.
Could
So
it
I
be?
think it's the four of them standing at the lake, because half of the point of this movie is Wednesday and Pugsley being in with normal people at camp.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it's that wank word juxtaposition of the beautiful nature and the Addams Family.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Them standing by the lake.
Cool.
Because it is an also iconic line. You're thinking of only one thing. Boys, homicide.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen it on TikTok.
Yes.
Maybe it
Because
resurfaced because she's been in a TV
Christina
show about Wednesday
Ricci
recently.
is back.
She back. She never really went anywhere.
No, she just went not at the front.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It's all about Jenna Ortega now.
Oh, God. I will go and see Beetlejuice 2, though.
Yeah, when it eventually comes out. Yeah.
Okay. We are doing a top 5 because we are reviewing the Addams Family this week. We thought we would do a top 5 movies based on TV shows.
Yes.
As usual, there was a lot of discussion back and forth
There
to work
was.
out the criteria.
Yeah.
We removed anything based on comic books.
Oh shit, we did, didn't we? Let me just.
So, yes, we removed anything based on comic books first. So that
Yes,
removes
we have.
Batman,
Batman,
Superman, all those Spider-Man ones. Because they've all had TV shows and then movies.
The conversation started with saying, I said, does The Dark Knight count because it's based on Batman? But it wasn't the first Batman movie.
And The Dark Knight was definitely not based on Adam West.
No. No.
So, I've got a couple of honourable mentions straight up before we get into the list. And then we'll have another couple of honourable mentions just before our number 1.
Uh-huh.
But I did want to acknowledge Monty Python.
Okay,
Because it's not based on TV shows, but they had a TV show and then made movies.
Yeah.
I also wanted to acknowledge 3 movies based on SNL sketches.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Coneheads, Wayne's World,
Oh, of course.
which we've reviewed, and the Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers.
Not Blues Brothers 2000.
No.
The Blues Brothers.
Okay.
So they're based on SNL sketches. I also have something now onto my to-be-watched list, which is the movie version of Are You Being Served?
Right? Weird. I have a couple of honourable mention.
Yep.
One, I just wrote Star Trek because there's been a lot.
That is in my
And the
honourable
newer
mentions
ones
as
are
well.
good.
Yeah.
Muppet movies.
That is in my honourable mentions as well.
And Glee, the 3D concert movie. And High School Musical, the series, the movie.
Which is, that's like the snake eating its own tail.
That's Inception of just bloody...
Goes around. Okay, my number 5. So...
This was hard. I have to say this was hard because I feel like there's a lot, but not many that are good.
There's a lot.
When you take out Batman.
So I kind of... Well, also, there's a huge Wikipedia list.
Yeah.
And once you take out anime, the list is about half.
Yeah.
But...
And then once you take out the ones I haven't seen...
Yeah.
So there's 5 left.
I went by ones that I enjoyed and thought were good. Yep. Having said that, I'm currently moving 2 movies.
Okay.
Okay?
Great.
So...
Is one of them now in your top 5 Glee, the 3D concert movie?
No.
Oh, damn.
In my number 5 spot...
Yes.
Bean.
Okay.
Because I actually think it's a great
With Peter
movie.
McNichol.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think it's a great movie.
Yeah.
And
not Mr. Bean's Holiday. Bean.
No, Bean.
Okay.
And not Johnny English, which is Bean playing James Bond.
Yeah.
Bean is a very good movie. It's kind of not at all like the TV show, but kind of is.
Yeah.
But I think what they did well is that they weren't like, here's an 18-minute BBC Kids show. Let's try and keep that silent movie thing, because that wouldn't have worked, into an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So they actually, unlike the Brady Bunch, I'm going to say it again, wrote an hour and a half
Spoiler
story.
alert, the Brady Bunch is not in Lee's top 5.
They wrote an hour and a half story
Yeah.
and put Mr. Bean in there rather than just be like, how many different funny situations can we make him run into a 3-wheeled car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that 3-wheeled car though.
My
number 5.
I did see a meme recently.
Yeah.
That was like, can you believe there was only 22 episodes of Mr. Bean? The way I grew up, I thought there was 45 seasons.
Yeah. Because you watched the blue disc 5 times.
Yeah, but it's...
Disc? Sorry, tape.
It's funny that you kind of remember it, but you don't.
Yeah, and because they all bleed into one, you think that they're all in one episode. Except you know that when he goes to that science fair is a different episode than when he tries to paint his house by blowing up paint.
Or when he goes to the theatre and gets scared and throws the popcorn.
Yeah.
That's a different to one that put his turkey on his head.
You could not make that show today. My number 5 is once we've kind of half mentioned.
Yep. Brady Bunch.
The Flintstones.
Okay. Didn't quite... I was
Like
not
the
sure.
first one, Viva Rock Vegas is a stinking turd.
Yeah, Stephen Baldwin.
But, wait, isn't he in the first one?
I thought he was in Rock Vegas.
I thought it was Rick Moranis. Or is he in the first one?
Okay.
The first one is John Goodman,
No,
and the second one is that guy from Full Monty.
Mark Addy.
Yeah.
Stephen Baldwin. Kristen Johnston and
Yeah.
Jane Krakowski.
Yeah. They are not Rosie O'Donnell, Stephen Baldwin.
Elizabeth Perkins. And Elizabeth Taylor.
Elizabeth Taylor as Pearl Slaghoople.
Yeah.
And Halle Berry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Being hot. So there you go.
That's Halle Berry.
Yeah. What's your number 4, Lee? How'd you go?
Well, at the risk of hitting a nerve...
Shit. Viva Rock Vegas.
Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh! It didn't make my list out of spite.
Well, if we do a blog post out of it, I can't link anyone to the movie.
Yeah.
So it's funny. The show is funny, but also it's a good movie just on its own because you don't have to have watched any of the show to get it. And it's very funny, and they haven't given it any 60s vibe. They just made a 90s movie about a family that strikes oil.
Yeah,
and
they didn't do like what they did in the Brady Bunch. Is that what you say?
Yeah. And Lily Tomlin is hilarious.
Should we just change the title of this episode to Lee doesn't like the Brady Bunch movies?
Like Addams Family Values, brackets, fuck the Brady Bunch movie.
The Brady Bunch movies.
Top 5 movies based on TV shows. Lee doesn't rate the Brady Bunch.
My number 4.
Yep.
The Simpsons movie.
Oh, really? I thought it was terrible.
I liked the Simpsons movie.
Not highly regarded with the critics.
I am not a critic. I am a fan.
You are.
I am a bitch.
Yeah.
No,
No.
just a judgmental bitch.
You're a movie reviewer. We run a professional level podcast.
I liked it.
Did you think it was necessary to see Bart's wee-wee?
I don't think the movie in itself was necessary. But I'm glad it exists. I remember thinking it was good and that Marge was good in it.
Okay.
I remember seeing it at the cinema.
Me too.
And there were people near us, and then there were two male policemen that kissed, and somebody was like, "Oh, they're gay." Yeah, I remember that.
In the cinema or in
In
the
the
movie?
cinema, yeah. I thought it was a good movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number's 3.
Yeah.
Number 3. Addams Family.
Yeah, okay. Mine too. Mine is also Addams Family.
Go back and check out the episode. It's funny, it's good, and it keeps very much in tone with the idea of the TV show.
Yes.
My number 2,
How'd you go, number 2?
Downton Abbey.
Oh my fucking God.
No,
And you were having a
because-
go at me.
For what?
The Simpsons?
No, I love Downton Abbey, the show.
I'm going to watch the Simpsons movie again.
I'm going to watch Downton Abbey movie again. I haven't seen the second Downton Abbey
I'm not
movie,
allowed
though.
to.
Why?
Because I'll kill Maggie Smith.
Oh, right. Did you watch Harry Potter recently?
No.
Valet?
No, I did not watch Harry Potter's recently. They
Yeah.
keep coming up on whatever 14 streaming services they're on.
Downton Abbey, it's just a...
I can't believe Downton Abbey.
It was a
Sorry.
very good revisit back to the Abbey, and it had its own full story, but also wrapped up things from the TV, but not in a way that if you're watching the
Fan
movie,
service. Okay.
you'd be like, what does that mean?
Right.
Like I think you can watch it without watching the show, but if you watch it having watched the show, you will enjoy it a lot.
Okay.
It felt like one long episode of the show.
When you saw it in the cinema,
Yeah. Did I cry? Yes.
were you the youngest person there by about
Yes.
30 years? Okay.
Yes. I didn't look like I was going with my mum. I looked like I probably should be there as somebody's carer.
Okay.
Not
yes.
our mum's carer. She doesn't need one.
No,
Definitely not.
Just barrels.
It was like, oh, okay. He's just come because he needs to make sure she's going to get home to the
Yeah.
village on time.
Yeah.
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 What's your number 2?
My number 2
South
is...
Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut.
I haven't seen it, so it's not on here. My number 2 is The Fugitive.
What TV show that's based on?
The Fugitive.
Okay.
The Fugitive is based on a TV show. It's a good movie. I don't believe Tommy Lee Jones should have won an Oscar for it. But
Have you
it's still
seen
a
the
good
TV
movie.
show, though?
No, but I've seen the movie, and that's what we're ranking. The quality of the movie.
That's fair, because I haven't seen any episode of my number 1. And I feel like we have the same number 1.
Yeah, I feel like we do.
Mission
Mission Impossible. Rogue Nation. No.
Ghost
Mission
Protocol.
Impossible.
Excuse
Ghost
me.
Protocol, fucking hell.
I saw another meme recently.
Dead Reckoning Part 1, 3, and 5.
The Mission Impossible movie should not have looked that good. If you go back and rewatch it now, it doesn't look like an early 2000s movie. The witch from The Witches is in it. One of the witches. From
Angelica
The Witches.
Houston.
No. The first one where you first see her purple eyes. I'm sure it's her.
She can't
Or do I
hear
always
you.
get
That
that
one?
confused? Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, no, maybe that's the one that I always get confused. It's not even an early 2000s movie. It's from 1996. Vanessa Redgrave's in it. Vanessa
Yeah.
Redgrave's picture on Google is her from about 1930.
Yeah, I love how some people have old ones.
Yeah.
And then some people have new ones. Like, if I'm looking up the kid that was in Jerry Maguire, I don't want to see what he looks like now because he's unrecognizable. I want to see him when he was in Jerry Maguire.
That's true. So Mission Impossible was a very popular show,
Uh-huh.
but what Tom Cruise, and I'm on the record after watching Top Gun Maverick and reviewing it for the podcast, Tom Cruise will do more, has done more and will do more for movies as a producer than an actor.
Yeah.
Because even if these movies didn't star him, what he has done with 9 now, is it? 9 about to be the 10th.
I don't know.
Mission
I've seen 2 of them.
Impossible movies is incredible. And
Yeah.
they're all good. They're not all great, but they're all good.
If you love an action movie, they're very good quality action movie.
Yeah, and you don't have to deal with Ryan Reynolds being funny in an action movie.
Wow.
No.
So you're coming around on my Deadpool stance from our 4th episode ever.
No, Deadpool, that's Deadpool the character.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
He's that.
Yeah.
But, like, I was just flicking through and I'm like, I just want an action movie. And I read this one, I'm like, yep, good. And I clicked it and it was Ryan Reynolds. And I'm like, oh, let's see. And then he just was making jokes. I'm like, just make a fucking action movie.
Yeah.
But
If I want to see Reynolds make jokes, I'd watch him in a comedy movie.
no, but if
Like
I wanted
The
to
Proposal
see
with Sandra Bullock.
Ryan Reynolds be a funny action, I just watch Deadpool again because
Yeah.
I think it's a very good movie.
Yeah.
But if I just want to watch an action movie, like there's one that Chris Hemsworth is in that I can't remember the name of.
Thor, Love and Thunder.
But
Thor
when
Ragnarok.
he is in that, he is not Thor playing an ex-Australian
Ghostbusters.
spy guy.
Yeah.
No, it's...
The Dressmaker.
No. Stop naming movies, okay?
The Good Place.
That's Larry.
Home and Away.
It is... Oh, I don't know what it's called.
That's great.
And I said I didn't know what it's called, but
Yep.
now you're making me go to look for it,
Yep.
okay?
Just because I keep yelling at Hemsworth movies.
Yeah.
Not even Chris Hemsworth movies, just Hemsworth movies. Hunger Games Catching Fire.
Extraction.
Extraction.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can watch Extraction as a good action movie,
Uh-huh.
but it's
You
not
only said
Thor.
horror then, didn't you?
Yeah.
Cabin in the Woods.
It's not Thor.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? And he also plays an Australian.
Good. I like when they do that. Because what was I watching something the other day?
Sex Education.
What?
Gillian Anderson's radio producer is Australian.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but I was watching something the other day where I was like, they're American and they don't need to be. Okay. This is so rando. I was watching Glee.
Okay.
And I was up to season 4
Yeah.
when it starts to go to shit because
Yeah.
they've left and they're in New York. And Kurt has like a boyfriend who's British and studying in this New York thing.
Yeah.
But then Rachel has a boyfriend that's hot and American, but it's Dean Geyer, who's Australian. I'm like, why can't he just have an Australian accent?
Yep.
Why does he have to have a bad American accent?
Yeah. But,
Nobody's watching him for his accent, and they knew that when they cast
well,
him.
then again, they're not casting him because he's Australian,
No.
but also he can still be Australian.
And he could be Australian, and then, hello, jokes.
Yeah, but this is
Anyway.
the thing, right? Unless a character has to be somewhere,
Yep.
like, it is very believable that an Australian moved to the UK and got a job as a radio producer and he's pushing buttons for Gillian Anderson's character in Sex Education,
Yes.
right? That is believable. So you don't watch
Kate-
that
yeah,
show
yeah,
and
yeah.
go, why the fuck are they Australian?
Kate Blanchett could have been Australian in Tar.
Probably not.
She could have been.
Yeah, she probably could have been.
She was in Germany.
That show with Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant, they both could have been their normal accents.
Uh-huh. Anyway.
Because
I don't need to hear Hugh Grant do an American accent.
No, but Hugh Grant is so quintessentially British.
Yeah.
Seeing him do an American accent is jarring.
Yeah.
Anyway, any other honourable mentions?
Um,
I had the Muppet Movie,
No.
Scooby-Doo, and Star Trek. Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo's good.
Also
guess.
Transformers,
Oh, of course.
because that's
But just the
become-
first one.
Yeah, the franchise has petered out,
Uh-huh.
unlike Mission Impossible. But
Much
the
like,
first couple
but much
were
like Shia LaBeouf himself
Yeah.
has. He's petered out.
good. Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, the Kristen Stewart one.
Well, the first one, the Lucy Liu, Drew Barrymore,
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz,
Yeah.
Crispin Glover,
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, Bernie
Matt
Mac.
LeBlanc.
Bernie Mac?
No?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
The second one of them, not
Terrible.
as good. Charlie's Angels Full Throttle.
No, 'cause, you
Full
know-
Throttle.
Because Pink's in it.
The Elizabeth Banks directed Kristen Stewart one, actually not bad.
Oh, okay. It's not what my friend had to say on the weekend.
No, I've watched it, and if you hold it up too high, it doesn't live up. But if you just watch it,
Yeah.
it's good.
Okay.
If you believe the media of like this is just a vehicle for women in cinema,
Yes.
you won't like it.
Okay.
But also,
But Ocean's 8 is good.
it is. It is a vehicle for women in cinema.
Yeah.
That's Charlie's Angels.
Yeah. Speaking of women in cinema,
Yeah.
what are we doing next week?
Okay.
I hope there's a woman in it.
There is actually 2 women in it, and 2 women in the sequel that is 50 years overdue. So we are doing The Exorcist,
The original Exorcist.
and we are hopefully going to the cinema to watch The Exorcist: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead Reckoning Part 1.
I can never remember what it's called.
Resurrections?
No, Exorcist.
Revolutions. I get them confused. Reloaded.
The Exorcist, right? I have in my head, right, that there's The Exorcist 1973, which makes it 50 years old,
Yeah.
and then there's nothing.
No, they
Between
did
that and now, but there is.
They tried to do a something.
So there is. Let me just scroll down.
Scary
on
Movie 3.
Wikipedia.
It's the start of Scary Movie 3.
I've been
No,
to
2.
the I've been to the stairs
Oh, that
of
he
The
gets...
Exorcist. Yeah,
Spoiler.
spoilers.
I can't remember. I've seen it twice.
They're actually bloody scary stairs, but I'm not going to say anything more about it.
They're not the same stairs as the Joker.
Okay. Wow, I've scrolled a long way down. Sequels, right.
Why don't you just look up Ellen Burstyn? It's the only thing she's done.
The Exorcist
That's
franchise.
not true.
There's The Exorcist novel, 1971, right?
Uh-huh.
Films, The Exorcist, Exorcist, Exorcist 2, The Heretic, 77, The Exorcist 3, 1990,
Oh.
right? That was it. For number 2, William Peter Blatty, who wrote the novel, had nothing to do with it.
Man, yep.
But for The Exorcist 3, he wrote and directed it.
Oh, Jesus.
Prequel films,
Ooh.
Exorcist The Beginning, 2004, Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist, 2005, and we are about to go and watch The Exorcist Believer, and then in 2 years' time, they're making a trilogy.
And he died recently.
The Exorcist
director.
Believer, then The Exorcist Deceiver in 2005,
Oh, no.
and Untitled Exorcist Film.
We don't need that many more.
There's going to be more. So we're going to watch The Exorcist, and we're going to go to the cinema to watch The Exorcist Believer. Mm-hmm. How are we going to get from the Addams Family Values to The Exorcist?
Max von Sydow's done a lot of movies.
Oh, yeah, but I couldn't name one.
Does Game of Thrones count? Um,
Yeah, we can go through TV. To who, though?
Angelica Houston.
Amelia Clarke to Angelica Houston, if we go into the Game of Thrones route. Amelia Clarke. Can Woody Harrelson get us
Christopher
to
Lloyd.
Angelica Houston?
Mary Steenburgen. Christopher Lloyd
I forgot.
was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest
Yeah.
with Jack Nicholson
Who was
in...
a relationship with Angelica Houston.
Yeah, so we just went...
I know. I just wanted to point out that I remembered that.
Good.
I also remembered that Ted Danson is married to Mary Steenburgen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Who was in The Departed with Leonardo DiCaprio, who was in Shutter Island with Max von Sydow.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Max von Sydow, Leonardo DiCaprio,
Jack Nicholson,
Jack
Christopher
Nicholson,
Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd. Yeah,
Nailed
very
it.
good.
I reckon it's something quicker. There's a
You
quicker way
always
to
do,
do
though.
it. Yeah, but I'm happy
always
with
do.
that one.
Yeah, that was good. All right, next
Because
week.
Linda Blair was in Roller Boogie with, what's Linda Blair done?
Well, you just said Ellen Burstyn's only done one thing.
She hasn't, and I apologise. I just meant it's the only thing she's done recently.
Okay.
She played Robin Wright's mum in House of Cards.
All right, which gets you to Kevin Spacey,
Uh-huh.
which gets you to A Bug's Life, which can then get you to Superman, which can then get you to... How many episodes back do we go and still
Only
keep
that-
the connections?
Yeah, that's good.
That's 6 degrees of two-drink cinema.
Yeah. John Ratzenberger is in 5 movies we've done. No, who was it? Dennis Leary.
Yeah, Dennis Leary,
Yeah.
way too many.
Anyway. Exorcist, good. Real horror.
Yeah, actual scary, gonna have to turn the lights off.
Of course.
And The Exorcist Believer, let's see.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Two Drink Cinema. We'll be back next week with The Exorcist. Make sure you hit like and subscribe if you're on the YouTube. Subscribe if you are on a podcast app. And if your app allows it, leave us a rating and review so then other people will know to watch this and listen to the show.
Yay.
Thanks, Brett.
Thanks, Lee. Cheers. Thanks for listening to Two Drink Cinema. We would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this podcast was produced and pay our respects to elders past and present.
If you'd like to support the podcasts, either leave a tip or become a member for early access to these episodes by using the link in the show notes.
Join the Facebook group for more chat about the movies we review and make sure you follow us on the socials to keep up to date.
Hit the subscribe button and leave us a review on your podcast app.
Happy viewing and drink responsibly.